Hi, in today's post I'm going to give you a really simple tip that you can do that actually makes a world of difference. This fits in a lot of scenarios, but overall where this tip really fits is when you have a scenario where you're using SharePoint as an intranet, an extranet, or something like that, where people are really starting to interact with it more like a website. And so if you have people in there going looking for documents, trying to work through processes and that, a lot of times they don't really comprehend that it's some kind of SharePoint system in there, and a lot of the SharePoint pieces can be really disconcerting. So one of the things that we really look at is, and one of the very simple things you can do when you kind of have more of these publishing faced sites, is disabling Chrome. And so on web parts, if you're not sure about what I'm talking about, you have this Chrome that is kind of the area around the top here where you're able to do things like minimize, edit a web part, and do that kind of stuff. You can very simply go into the web part and turn that off, because it's amazing how many times we actually sit down with people and have done usability tests and they end up going to this contextual navigation and not really understanding it. The same with this, if you just want people to click on a link, a lot of times having this kind of elaborate link right here, you can do that. And you can actually, there's a field like so where this is the name, you can actually pull this into a view without actually having the contextual menu here in that. So the reality is, unless your users are going to be using that a lot or really comfortable with it, it actually can be a very disconcerting experience, and it can actually cause confusion on what I can do and the different pieces. You'll see we actually don't have a lot of capabilities here, but you know that depending on how you have a site set up, it can be much more elaborate. So our recommendation to you, especially in those more public-facing instances or company-wide instances, is to actually look at kind of like in this scenario where you're actually turning off Chrome and you're making the header more of generally what it is. It's just a header, and you don't really have that edit capability. Basically on here you'd have to go to your edit screen, but overall that's not such a bad trade-off when you think about creating it. And again, from a public site, one of the things that can be very disconcerting to people when they're looking at something that has information on it is as soon as you click on that Chrome, you get the ribbon bar up there and some of the different functionality there. And if you haven't turned off the ribbon, which is often common in intranets and extranets and that kind of stuff, can cause a lot of confusion. So in driving that down to kind of minimalist view of this piece right here can be very helpful in that now it's just a header.